Hey, how you doing? This is the security checkpoint invention I made. Now, to set it up, you'll want to create a trigger volume. Not just a regular trigger volume, but a Cv2 trigger volume. You'll want to make it thin and cover the area you want to, so let's say it's a hallway. You want to make sure this goes from end to end of this hallway. The main problem is that if it interacts with something, say the sandbox floor, it will log that. But if you don't care about having a bunch of environment sort of things showing up in your said thing, you don't need to care. So you'll see that the log thing is empty. We'll first need to grab this right here. Now it's kind of difficult, but you can grab it with this, and then you can pull it over here. Now, these are kind of labeled, kind of badly, but player execute, player object execute, object. So you want to do player entered, player object entered, object. Now, it doesn't matter if you do player entered or player exit, but it does matter that you have it on the player on the same strand, if that makes sense. So, after this, where's my logging? So, if I were to now walk through this, dark coat has passed checkpoint 1, and so on and so forth. It will keep saying that every time I walk past this. Oops. I dislike this orbit. Let me turn it off. Oopsies. Alright, so let's go back to the logging. So let's say we have a rocket launcher. Laser launcher was carried through checkpoint 1. It says carried even though it's thrown. It's kind of a misconception. But normally, assuming the circumstances, the player will be carrying the item when they walk through. So if you want to have a log screen in your room, you will need to enable beta content. So how you do this is you go into your room settings, you go to main settings, you scroll down until it says allow creative tools beta content. You'll need to read this disclaimer before you do so, and press save. And now you are in a beta room, basically. Now, let's spawn in this log screen. Now, it's considerably big, like, not even funny big. So, if you want to scale it down, you'll need to click here, step back a bit, and scale it down. If you try to interact with it this way, you will have trouble, because if you're up close, you'll point at it, and you won't be able to use your maker pen. See? So, you don't need to be stepped back. So, you see what I mean? That's annoying. Alright, so, see, a sandbox floor was carried through checkpoint 1. That's because the room was reset, and this floor was there, and then it got that. So, that will probably be at the beginning of every level, unless you purposely go in and manipulate it so that it's just slightly not touching the floor. So, if you want to say, so, let's grab an example. We have a guy holding a laser burst gun. So, he's walking, he goes to the checkpoint. He passed with a laser burst. Now, if you need, let's say, he could have just passed and then somebody threw a laser burst to try and frame him. Well, you can fix this by configuring the log stream. You can press show timestamps. If you have, say, things happening in your room that causes other things to show up, you can disable, like, an error that constantly shows up, which would be something like currency time loop thing you would find on the other videos. I'll post, like, a card for, like, 5 seconds or something. you can disable the red, green, and blue channels so it just shows white channels. Now, let's say, hey, I don't want to have them just white. You can set it to other colors. First, you would need to press edit, and you go into the circuit board. Now, this is the coding. Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah. Zoom in orbit. Whatever. Actually, I do need to zoom in orbit so I can properly view this. Alright, so what you can find here is the coding of this circuit board. Now, if you want to make, say, let's say checkpoint 1 was the armory, and it's bad that if somebody enters the armory. So you can set this to go into channel blue. Now this area up here, this is for players, and they're stacked. Yeah. Okay. So if you need to know which checkpoint is which, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's the same down here. But this area up here is players. This area down here is objects. So we need to say, hey, there is a guy that entered and it's blue. So now whenever you walk through here, it won't show up because I have it disabled from earlier. Channels, blue. It should show up. Now I'm confused. What did I do? Because I did something wrong. Channel blue. Yeah. Oh, there it is. I guess it never saved. So, it's logging that I passed through the checkpoint, but still putting objects that pass through in white. So you can have this color-coded for, say, the highly restricted area, and you need to make sure that every person that goes through there is a high-ranking officer. So, you can have it set up to where it displays in red, which I would not advise because errors do show up in red when you try to do so. But you can have it set to red. Now, if you need to set up more checkpoints, you just set up more trigger zones, and then you just wire those up as per usual. So, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, checkpoint 4, checkpoint 5. And of course, you will need to grab every single one of these. So, let's say this one goes down here. I'm trying to keep it organized. So this is checkpoint 2. Now it's going to be looking a little dirty because I'm not great with organizing these. So, checkpoint 3. Checkpoint 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, set this up here. Set this right down here. Now, we'll set this up. Player enter. Player. Object entered. Object. Player entered. Player. Object entered. Object. And you get the point. That's what you do with every single one. And then it will 1, 2, 3. And so log that I passed through it 3 times. Hello, Killian. Yes, I know. But I'm recording. So, these ports over here. These are for your preference. I add them for preference. But, basically, if you want to say, set up a... Ooh. I don't know if it's good to record right now because of him. Let's say... I don't know how these work entirely. So, let's say we have a... So, we set up a little system right here. So delay. And we set up a delay for killing. So let's say 1 second delay. Alright, so after delay, we turn off. So let's say play. So let's say it's perfectly okay if a player passes through this area. But if an object passes through. Okay, hold on. I need to make this much more brighter and intense. Let's make this red. Alright. So it's perfectly okay. Yep. Dude. Make a light that goes off. You can also add a sound. I don't know how you did this. Killian! So, you can also add a sound. I'm not entirely sure how sounds work. But again, it is preference. You don't need to touch any of this stuff. You just really need a log screen for this kind of thing. Killian! So, yeah. That's how this works. I'm sorry for kind of the bad ending of all the sort of things. Also, they could kind of spam this if they want to with just doing this. If they find where the trigger is, they could just do that. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for using my invention, and have a great day. Boop.